Welcome and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. We are conducting this meeting to close the audit process that has been going for the past 2 days. Before we convene, let us recite the Kitab, Surah Al-Fatiha. Thank you, everyone. Before we begin, let us remind those to present to fill up the attendance form. Ms. Nisa, can you share the attendance form to the screen? Ms. Nisa?
Yes.
Ah, thank you for becoming attendance form. Now, let's move on to our main agenda. As a reminder, the audit scope of business is process related to halal production and halal assurance system implementation for every meeting member. Our purpose is to find a non-conformance either in practice, records, or documentation. However, the most important things that are to see what we are good at. Moreover, to see how much we have accomplished in terms of managing halal in this company. To the auditee, we are not blaming or conducting witch hunting on any of you, but we need to ensure that every halal requirement set by JAKIB is being practiced correctly and efficiently. We shall work together to rectify any flaws. Without further ado, I hand this meeting to Mr. Akil, our distinguished auditor, to present the audit finding. Mr. Akil, the meeting is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Ustazi. Assalamualaikum, everybody. As Mr. Chairman has said just now, and let me reiterate, we are not conducting witch hunting or blaming any of you for any NCS on the halal practices, but instead finding a solution and closing those gaps so that JAKIM will not revoke our halal certification. I will be presenting the overall findings of the audit. Later on, my two co-auditors will present their findings according to each department. We have been conducting an audit for the past 2 days. The scope of the audit is every business activity that deals with halal. In short, we audit every business activity starting from menu planning to serve food at the outlet, front and back of the house. Both the actual practice and the documentation and record were checked and audited. At this point, the lead auditor will give a summary of the strength of halal practices and halal systems. From the audit findings, we have concluded on several opinions. The first one, the overall records such as halal file, purchasing, receiving and storage, HAS manual are found to be in a very satisfactory condition. The second one, the records were updated, systematically filed and can be easily accessed during the audit. The third one, personnel at the purchasing department give their full cooperation during the audit, which is very good. The fourth one, the purchasing process follows the HAS requirements such as SOP and ingredients master list available. Updated and systematically filed. 5. Delivery of raw material is conducted as per HAS manual, like scheduling, transport requirement, and receiving practices. 6. Separating halal and non-halal certified material, such as non-food material, haram raw material, and non-halal certified outlet at the receiving area through designated receiving space and requirement. 7. The storage area is well kept and only halal certified material is stored at the store. 8. The production and cooking process follow according to the HAS manual and SOPs. Last but not least, ingredients are checked and rechecked before cooking process. However, we also found a few gaps and non-conformity in halal practices. Most of the NCS are minor and only a few have to consider as major. For each NC, I will hand it over to my college auditor to explain based on the process flow and section. Over to you, Mrs. Adlina.
Thank you, Mr. Akil. Before I begin, let me remind the meeting's member, HOD and ODT, that some of the NCR has been rectified on the spot and always been closed. However, as an auditor, I am obligated to report this to meeting for future reference. We have found 4 NCR, which is 3 have been closed on the spot and 1 for the documentation. Let me address one. Major NCR 1. This NCR has not yet been closed and acknowledged by the auditee because we have found some discrepancy in the findings as well as we need to get some feedback from the auditee, especially the HOD on this matter. During our on-site audit, we found that the worker did not wear gloves when handling food, and this is against Section 4, Clause 17, Subclause 9 and Subclause B of the Malaysian Manual Procedure for Halal Certification Domestic 2020 requirement. The said clause explicitly stated, and I quote, personal hygiene should be at a good level. Therefore, the suggested corrective action for the NCR is the company should provide a comprehensive training session covering proper glove usage, hygiene practice, and the importance of preventing contamination. Also, they can install dispenser for disposable glove at strategic location within the production area. Second, major NCR, it was found that the machine used in the production process were not cleaned properly. There was a visible residue and food particle on the equipment indicating cleaning procedure. This can affect the sanitary condition for the halal compliance. Based on the MPPHM subclause D, MPPHM Domestic 2020, Clause 17 and Subclause 5 and Subclause D, and MS 1500-2019, Clause 3.3.1. This is again the section. The said clause explicitly stated, and I quote, equipment and hardware must always be in a good condition, clean and free from impurities, and does not have any harmful substances and does not have any negative side effect on the product and the operator. And then for the following cases, we suggested that the corrective action is they should assign specific personnel responsible for daily cleaning tasks and ensure they are adequately trained. And also, they can schedule deep cleaning session for machine weekly and maintain a log of cleaning activity. Lastly, during the audit, it was noted that a carton of canned oil lacked clear certification indicating its halal status, leading to suspicious about its compliance with halal standard. The non-conformance are against the clause stated in MHMS 2019, item 5, subclause 5 and subclause B, subclause 1 and MS 1500-2019, clause 3.5.3, subclause A. And I quote from the MHMS, which is the developed raw material control procedure should ensure there is no use or storage of raw material the dispute of halal status. And lastly, for the corrective action for this NCR, the company must implement a formal process to verify and document halal certification for all incoming food ingredients and material. And then last, for the halal file, it was found that the company registered address with SSM is outdated. So we have referred to their HAS that the address SSM is not updated frequently. So for the suggested corrective action is we suggest that the company should inform the supplier to update their halal cert and update the registered address with SSM and provide proof of update. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Adlina. I want to respond to the issue being started by the auditor. First of all, I would like to acknowledge that the incidents did happen during the audit. However, I do not want to sign the NCR form yet as I would like to make it official during the meeting and record it in the meeting minutes. The incidents happened yesterday during the morning shift. For your information, production line 1 is supposed to be shut down for weekly maintenance. By right, only production line 2 and 3 are still operational. Since we run 7 days of operation, all staff in line 1 has been given their weekly break. That morning, the management issued a last-minute directive to open up line 1 for some last-minute production. As a result, we did not have time to perform maintenance and cleaning on the machine that had been used. Additionally, we had to transfer the oil we use into our own containers to save storage space and keep the area more organized. However, we can confirm that the oil we use has a valid halal certification. Rest assured, this has never happened before. Yesterday was the first time and hopefully the last time. I have discussed with the auditor and HR the necessary steps to take if this issue recurs, including reorganizing the storage area to create space for storing oil. As for the NCR, I am ready to accept the NC status. For the car, corrective action may only be visible within a month or more. For the audit, I would like to thank the auditor for highlighting these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Aina and Miss Atlina. I would like personally to take this matter to the board meeting and the intention of the managing director. Before now, what shall we do, Mr. Akid?
Mr. Hussaini, the auditee has acknowledged the incidents did happen and all precautionary measures to rectify that problem have been taken. As per Mr. HOD's explanations, the incidents did happen due to unfortunate situations. We should also consider this as it has never happened before. The audit procedure dictates that NCR should be issued as well as CAR. Thank you.
Miss Adlina, please sign the NCR and the CAR form.
Miss.
I have jotted down the recommendation for corrective action on the CAR. We may need to do a follow-up audit, perhaps only a document audit, to see whether all the measures have been implemented and taken care for a long time. Corrective action.
In that case, can we decide on a specific date that can be used as a time frame? Let us say 2 days from now on.
I agree that, Mr. Hussaini.
I also agree with the motion. It should give ample time to find a suitable replacement for our staffing issues.
Mr. Hussaini, we from HR would take this issue seriously. From 30 days is ample enough to sort this matter out. Perhaps if we can achieve this earlier, we will let the ILC know and follow-up can be earlier than intended.
Great. We want to hear this thing and the result we want to look after for each audit. Now, we have listened to every NCR. Follow-up audit will be conducted 30 days earlier from now on. HLC will get contact with everyone on the follow-up audit later. Is there anything else we need to consider? Is there anything else? No. Thank you for everybody. Let me sum up the whole audit process that has been transpired over the last 2 days. Overall, the advocacy audit on documentation has shown significant improvement from the past year. This year, document has been systematically recorded, filed, and updated. The number of NCR have been reduced significantly, which are closed immediately after have been found. Congratulations to the respective parties. The management aspires that we could achieve the zero NC for the next audit. With the help of commitment of every individual of the company, we may achieve those targets. Finally, I will thank everyone who involved in this audit, especially the auditee, for their cooperation and attention during the audit process. To the team management that made the audit successful, I thank you again. Let's adjourn this meeting with Surah Al-Kahf and Surah Al-As and Surah Tasbih Al-Farah. Thank you and Assalamualaikum. Thank you again.